Excuse me, this is Margaret in Windsor, and the name I have to use is Peggy Ann Dempsey. I'm married to Childers, and I'm putting this up. I haven't made very many videos the last couple of days. For the last five, six, oh wow, since 2012, I've been putting up on Facebook, posting and videos, and then the next year, August the 4th of 2013 on YouTube every day, sometimes 4 or 5 videos, because I wanted a record of what's happened in my life and my kidnapping and the ongoing, which is I wrote a book about mind control murders back in um, 1976, and I'm having a bad day because I'm allergic to chemicals. It's an autoimmune disorder that's been used against me the last years. Um, and you start telling some of this if you notice in the school shootings or the mind control. Like Larry Flint, I usually put up the endorsement where I ran in a campaign out there. He flew me to his home in Bel Air at the time in 1983, October, twice. He helped me in that campaign to replace a Dr. Congressman Larry McDonald, who supposedly went down in the KL that was shot down by the Russians when it veered into their airspace. So you get into this part of it that I was writing about, and then my kidnapping being brought here. So I'm not going to put out Hustler magazine or show the pictures and documents I have. There's enough of them up here if you care to look. The thing is, it's done me no good. Um, as I sit here today, I'm just about dead. My hearing, you start telling it, and all of this is focused on the gun shooters. They're programmed. Um, and everybody knows it. They know about my kidnapping before I did, when my father was taken down in 1936 with character assassination. But if you looked at when I went out to Flint's, and this is in well, I became a candidate because I'd written about this Dr. Larry McDonald. He'd almost killed me, and Larry Flint says in his endorsement he's a part of who did this the shooting, the program shooting. He was a program shooter too that shot Larry Flint and killed his attorney. And anyway, I came back to my. I had a meek, if you want to call it, campaign headquarters, and across the hall was Hawkins Temporary Agency. I'd worked for uh, a few times in the past. They sent me out. All my jobs were kind of related to all this, how it ties in. But anyway, he also, his agency was the one that sent me out to the I think it's Lovell School or Lovett. I can't remember now. Uh, it's a private school, and I when I worked for doctors Forsyth and Kuchar and McCoy, um, I wrote checks to the school for a couple of them. Really, I wrote checks for Forsyth and Kuchar, and their kids went there. Forsyth did, and I like Dr. Forsyth and Kuchar and McCoy. Um, but anyway, I wrote checks. So when I was sent out there, I remembered the school. It's a classy school. I was supposed to meet in, I think I was in the sports department. I can't remember. They put me, I was typing, but I was supposed to meet Jens Zorings. He's a diplomat's son from Germany. His parents, I think, are both dead now. He's in prison in Buckingham State Prison. I believe he's still there in Virginia. The other one was other one, a lady. I'm going to ahead and say it. These are innocent people, and they were going to. By the way, the other guy's. Oh goodness, his name is so important in it too that I was supposed to meet. So excuse me if I'm jumping around. I'm trying to remember, and I'm in pretty bad condition inhaling the crap I've inhaled over the how long. Jens and Chad. Was it Chad? Because it had to do with, oh, me. Anyway, uh, I met one of them. I think I just met Chad. It doesn't seem right, Chad. Anyway, I'm sure if anybody wanted to, they could look all this up. But anyway, Jens, I end up here just before I left. Okay, I had been out to the school, and I met one of them. I didn't meet Jens, but I don't think. I was supposed to meet both of them. Uh, I can't remember the conversation I met. Anyway, I came back and I was sent out by Hawkins, and my campaign headquarters was there in Marietta in the same building across the hall, really. And they told me that the police and a member, someone from Hustler magazine, had been in, and they. It's so ludicrous, just like the FBI agent always said, that everybody knows you're telling the truth, gives them a chance to help or walk away. Well, there they went. Anyway, the agency said that the police department and uh, Hustler magazine, a detective or a representative, now I can't remember, but they're run by the FBI, so had been out doing a background check on me as a what did they were they excuse me, this is back in 83 after they'd almost killed me April 1st of 80. So my life has been an ongoing hell with every law in the book you can conceive of being broken, and no one's paid the price. Everybody has broken all these laws, and they're still running me. I'm sitting here trying to put this up on YouTube and Facebook, and anyway, they're doing a background check on me, and it's not even my real name, and they know it. The law enforcement's always known this. Cobb County, Buddy Darden ran against me in the campaign, and I like Buddy Darden. He was up against a lot of things too. I think he was a decent man. He should have run again. He got it to replace Larry McDonald. Anyway, I meant to say this, and bear with me. If I can go back and forth and try to remember the condition they put me in, surely someone out there can take the time to stop criticizing me when, well, they have to not care, those that criticize, because I've lived it and it's been hell. It still is. And I wonder where my children are. That gives you, well, anyway. Jens Orings, I was sent out there by Hawkins, and Chad, I think, was his name. I just met the one, and to be honest with you, right at the moment, I can't remember. It may have been Jens, because it seemed like I couldn't. I don't know. I met one of them. They were supposed to fly in together. I guess. Anyway, at Hawkins, they said that they were doing a background check for me to work for Hustler magazine. Well, isn't that cute? Most people think that Hustler magazine, and I don't like porn, but if you get into this, how people reacted to me, telling them probably the most important thing they could think of in their life. And part of it is because I'm Margaret Ann Windsor and what they did to my father, my kidnapping. My mom was born in Madison, Wisconsin, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe's sister to George O'Keefe. So she's an American. But the Americans actually hate me. I didn't kidnap myself. I didn't do all these things to my father and mother and my country and to my children here. They did. They will not accept any responsibility. In fact, they've gone on. They hate the Brits until it comes to trying to say, oh, we saved the Brits by going in, and they leave this out. This is what's happening, deleting stuff. The important stuff, you delete it, the press has. And, well, we went in and saved you Brits back in World War II. No, they didn't. They invaded us. They kidnapped me and brought me here, gave me another name. They took out my father, my mother. They installed their own monarch. And whether you want to call yourself the Illuminati or not, that's who you are and that's who's in power. And it happened after you kidnapped me and took my father down because he was an honest man. He wouldn't follow the Illuminati's orders, the Freemasons. They took him down and then kidnapped me. So there you go. They swiped him off the map, left him with nothing but lies told about him. Now, and that was a fake, an imposter that married Wallis Simpson and became the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. Now then, if you read, I'm reading on Google every day, all these prints and everything, the media that's talking about Meghan Markle, about Harry. And there's a question if that's really Harry, and Harry's not even supposed to be the son of Charles. So he's not even a member of the royal family. Can you imagine if all of this is told? Wallis Simpson didn't marry King Edward VIII. She married a fraud, and she's a fraud. And Elizabeth's always known it about my kidnapping. All of them have. So back to Atlanta or Marietta, and I'm in the campaign. I'm Jens Orings and Elizabeth Haysom. I end up here and in Bedford part of the time, next door to Roanoke, where I ended up in '86 when I came here. Uh, there was a shooting that took place in April of '85, and it involved Elizabeth Haysom's mother and father, Derek and Nancy. And Elizabeth is Canadian, and I believe her father's Canadian or, or English. Well, it's UK, Brits. And the mother was from here, but anyway, they were stabbed with a knife. And these are decent people. I'm talking about Jens and Elizabeth. They went to Charlottesville, at the University of Virginia. Very decent people. They're in prison. And I read back what they wrote about Elizabeth. They called her names. And I can't believe it because it's friggin' lies. All of this mess is. And I'm going to stop here because I put up enough and I can just keep on. You know, what's wrong with this picture? When I'm in it was Cobb County, Marietta, running in the campaign, done a book, letter from the FBI, almost killed April Fool Day of '80, taken illegally across the state line to Huntsville. In the condition I was in, I shouldn't have lived. Anyway, excuse me. And I worked for the district attorney, Fred Simpson, as in a clue to my identity. Wallace Warfield Simpson was supposed to marry King Edward VIII, the Duke, and became the Duke of Windsor. So you could get into the jobs I worked for, and I didn't know about being kidnapped until after I flew out to Larry Flint's. It's a timeline I'm talking about. August the 31st, September, October of 1983. Now I have lost my train of thought. Anyway, what's wrong with this picture, though, if you stop and think about it? I had all this happen. I was put on the street and things done to me, a beggar, a pauper. And all the time, my ex-husband or husband, they tell me later he's my husband. So if we weren't legally divorced, he had an addendum put to our divorce. He dictated it to my attorney. And my attorney did it. I mean, I had no say-so on divorce. But it wasn't supposedly, it did. It was filed in Cobb County Court. This is the divorce arrangement, that anything he ever had, I would have half of it. And it didn't matter if he remarried or I remarried, and that he was to leave me $100,000 life insurance, maintain it, and when he died, if he died first, of course. Well, I'm going to tell you this because you got high ups in the government. Okay, let's say that he wasn't dead. They used doubles in this. Let's just say that a double married, what's her name? Twyla Pollen. She ended up, I know, with the policy, and I'm on the road begging and everything. Mr. Childers, then, if he married her, if this is true, that let's say we weren't divorced, he married her, and he was in trying to help have me killed with Dr. Larry McDonald. With I can name you some more. However, and I've already done it. And no, it's not funny. I laugh to get through. So, how did he able to do all this? Because the doctors took his orders. He's supposed to be married to this other woman. You get it? And they had done things I could. I was in fear they were going to kill my children too. I didn't even know about that he was married till after April Fool Day, and my apartment was gone. All of it illegal. But that's not what I wanted to get to about. But anyway, what she's doing is she's lived off the policy, and while I've lived up here, and you've had my homes, castles that Elizabeth's living in. It's like who wrote the script for all this? And I'm going back and forth because I'm very tired, and I've been living here since last July. And it's relatively nice is the reason I've stayed here. The personnel have been, I guess you can call it nice, but they know what's going on. So, I've been moved from room to room. I have an autoimmune disorder, and there's a lot wrong with the room. But I've tried to stay in one place because they really, if you did a background check on me, it's character assassination too. First of all, my real name is not Peggy Ann Dempsey. I married Childers, by the way. I think that's his name. Anyway, I'm going to skip around and I'm going to stop. What's wrong with this picture? I run in a campaign. All these things have been done to me, and I'm back there literally on the street of Marietta. I walked out of Atlanta in the hot sun to Marietta. It was a minister there. And I literally fell in his front door and begged him to help me. Well, he did. They brought a mattress in, let me sleep in their home that night, and fed me, and got me over to, listen to this, Bambi Rob. So Bambi and Forrest Sawyer, who was a investigator and worked for one of the channels. Okay, he later, after I'm all the way up here, and this is later, look him up. Forrest Sawyer is the night host on a couple, NBC and CBS, I believe, and on 2020 he's retired. So Forrest Sawyer, Forrest, and Bambi, as in Rob, are clues into patterns. And later I end up coming up here to Virginia, where Rob, who was married to Linda Baines Johnson, Johnson's daughter, was, I believe he was governor. And that's when you get the Rob and the Bambi. I live in the forest up here for how many years and froze. And I'm going to stop because then when I got up here, Rob, the son-in-law, Linda Baines, who was the first daughter, he's supposed to have this affair. And I've forgotten, I think it's a former Miss Virginia or America. So that was in the splash. And I want to take you back to another one. And these connect was Hart. Gary Hart ran for the presidency when I did in '84. And that endorsement of Larry Flint, he ran too, by the way. You see, I laugh. Maybe it's a good thing I'm putting it up because I feel so bad from what's going on. I laugh at my pain, I guess, to get me